How would you go about? Let's say you have the keys. Just hypothetically, where would you put in the keys and turn it? And he's like, "You have no fucking clue what you're doing, do you?" Do you think if it's Halloween at a nudist colony, the kids say "dick or treat"?
I mean, we would. But...
Here's a Twix bar for you, and a Twix bar for you, and a Baby Ruth for you.
Here's a Kit Kat. I only had one, so I broke it up into little wafers, and one for each of you.
All right, goddammit. Click subscribe. Quit goofing around. This is important. All right. Andor, episode 5.
Yes.
Best episode of the series thus far.
Yes. And there was no fighting in this episode. Not one laser blast was shot. Not one lightsaber. Not one ship fight. Nothing.
Not so much as a karate fight.
Not so much as a karate fight.
And yet you're riveted the whole fucking time.
It was excellent.
Absolutely fantastic,
so
yes.
This whole episode was just character building. Just, you get to know these people, you know, before the plan goes horribly wrong and everybody dies. But
may I say, my favorite moment of the entire show, of the entire episode. We see Cyril back home. He has to move back into his mom's house because he's fired. And his mom just turns out to be the most perfect, stereotypical little Jewish mama in all of literature.
Oh, look who you're asking me.
Ow, jerk off got fired again. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking every yenta I remember from my childhood. This is great.
I loved that. It's just so...
I mean, I know for you, you must have been hearing Sun Yi in your head.
I was.
Charu, I so disappointed for you.
Oh, you get so fat.
You're so fat, Charu. I'm so disappointed. Oh, boy. It was great. And you can see him. He's just so beat down.
He's
just
defeated.
Fuck, 30 years of this shit. My God, I can't believe I have to live here again.
I finally moved out, and now I'm back.
Fuck. And then Andor or Clem with the rebels.
Yeah.
Holy shit, what a fantastic, well-developed group. Every one of those characters has a fully fleshed out backstory.
Yes.
And you are interested in hearing about it. Like the prison tats was just beautiful. Like you have this instant recognition, and that also led to a mutual distrust.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he came out of the system. He's just like me. Now I really don't trust him.
Yes.
Fucking beautiful, man.
And him hiding and hoarding that gem because he didn't want them to find it, not only because it's valuable, but because then he would have to explain himself.
Yep.
And then he finally does come clean, and I'm like, oh, man, this moment, this is some of the best fucking Star Wars I've ever seen, and and they didn't even shoot anybody.
And then my other favorite scene was when they're walking through the heist itself. This is how we steal the ship. How would you go about? Let's say you have the keys. Just hypothetically, where would you put in the keys and turn it? And he's like, "You have no fucking clue what you're doing, do you? Holy shit! Shut the fuck up! I'm driving the thing.
Yes.
That's not part of the fuck you! You have no idea. I'm driving the fucking ship."
That was a great moment.
It shows again just how insignificant and unprepared they are.
Yes.
Just how the odds are so tilted against them that they are completely incapable of standing up to an enemy this size. And they're going to do it anyway.
Yes. And at
fucking
the same
great.
time, it's showing how the Empire is so massive and so huge that it can't even see these little guys.
We're so insignificant, they don't even consider us a threat.
Yep.
We're going to walk right in between them and they're not even going to notice. It's beautiful, man.
Yes. Yes. I don't even know what more to say. I loved this. Oh, you know, my favorite moment in this was the TIE fighter fly when it flew past.
Yes. It was great. It's like,
I mean,
it's one TIE fighter and you're scared. Like, oh shit. It was very reminiscent of, you must have gotten lost, been part of a convoy. Well, he's not going to have time to tell anyone about us.
Yeah.
If that guy sees us, we're fucked. It was that same one ship with one guy on it.
Yep.
And the stakes are suddenly through the roof. The tension is so high. Just beautifully done.
It was really awesome. I love the fact that he was going by so fast that there's no way he would have identified anything. He just saw some people and was like, I'm going to scare the crap out of them. Watch this. And he just was being a dick, and he was just flew right past him. Literally only did it to scare the crap out of them.
Yeah, clearly, because at that speed, he couldn't have seen anything.
Right.
It was obviously just a provocation and a fuck you.
Yes.
Fucking peasants.
And that was great.
Yeah.
Because that whole moment, like, when you saw it coming, like, it kind of, like, made your heart speed up a little bit. You're like, oh, damn. Yeah, I get it.
Just from the moment that the girl hears it, I forget her name now. She's like, everybody shut the fuck up. And you hear it in the distance. You know, this petty argument is bullshit. Things just got very real. What the fuck else was I going to say?
Well, I'm thinking, like, between that and those moments and finding out that nobody even knows how to drive the fucking getaway vehicle, I can't wait for this next episode. What the hell's going to happen to these people?
Or her.
Well, we know what happens to Mon Mothma. I mean,
But how does she get there? Like,
that is true. We don't know what pushes her over the edge and makes her...
The tension with the husband and the daughter is fantastic. It's so out of character with what we know about Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was, wow, they're introducing family drama that you kind of, all right, Luke and Vader, it's not really the same, but it's so tense that you can tell this is a powder keg and this is going to go badly.
Well, it's... And I love the fact that they're doing this because you can only do this in a series. You can't do this in a movie.
Yeah.
If it were a movie, you'd have to skip over all this stuff and just get straight to the shooting and the action because we got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
We've only got an hour and a half, 2 hours at most, and we got to be over. When it's a series and you can take your time with it, this is the kind of development I want to see in a series.
Yeah.
I want to see the behind-the-scenes stuff and the in-between stuff.
Yeah. It takes you back to why the original Star Wars was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Because the sci-fi stuff had nothing to do with it. You could have set Star Wars, the original films, in ancient Rome. And this son rises up to face his father and an emperor who's corrupt.
Yeah.
And it would have fit beautifully.
Yep.
Set it in Napoleonic France. Same storyline, and it would have fit beautifully.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the same. Set this in any fucking period in history where a group of hungry people are rising up against a tyrannical king, and it fits beautifully.
Yes.
In this case, it happens to be Star Wars and ships and aliens and lightsabers. But that's irrelevant. That's icing.
Yeah. And I feel like that is the secret ingredient that makes Star Wars so awesome.
Yeah.
It's story first, it's character first.
And then add the cool looking
And then add
weapons
the
and cool ships.
And, oh, by the way, there's also spaceships and lasers and lightsabers. All right, cool.
It doesn't start there.
Right.
It doesn't start with the porn and then give you a bullshit story. Let's start with a fantastic story. And when you're like, oh my God, what a great story. Holy shit, spaceships! It's not built on that. It's built on a solid foundation first. And then you add the other shit.
Because, and we're definitely going to see it, I'm hoping in this next episode, but we'll see, because when you have that kind of build-up and that kind of character build-up, when you do get to the action, it just matters that much more.
Yeah.
There's so much more at stake now because now we know these people and we know what they're up against and what it took to get here. So
It's just great.
yeah,
all around.
it is just great.
From top to bottom, man.
So if you haven't started this series yet, if something's been putting you off on it, just start watching it. It is brilliant. You're going to love it if you are a Star Wars fan. You're probably going to love it even if you're not a Star Wars fan, because it's just a well-done story.
Yeah, I was talking to a colleague at work yesterday. It's quickly becoming the best thing on TV.
Yeah.
Which is astonishing. Astonishing, because Star Wars has disappointed us so badly in the past few years. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to say it.
No,
but I was nervous about it.
You're not wrong. I was definitely nervous about it. I was expecting this to be just another slapped together, poorly written thing. I am so glad we were wrong, and it's really well written. And I'm actually hoping this is kind of setting the bar again. Like, reset the bar. Do it like this.
Yeah.
I know you're coming out with The Mandalorian. I hope you're looking at this and going, okay, we really got to step it up with The Mandalorian. because it's been going great so far, but it could be better.
Well, I like that they decided on the tone that they wanted for the show. Mm-hmm. They did this with Mandalorian as well. And then find filmmakers who are experts at that tone. Right? Mandalorian is much more classic action adventure show.
Classic Western.
Okay, yeah. So let's go out and get directors who have experience and who are experts at that style. And this is more of an underground spy thriller. And they get the Jason Bourne guy.
Yeah.
So get a guy who's an expert in that. Beautiful. Not get me a Chinese female because we need representation. Get me who is the best for this style of project. Mm-hmm. This is what you get.
And it's brilliant. Well, I'd love to know what you think, so make sure you leave some comments down below if you've been watching this and keeping up with it. What do you think of this series so far? Compare this to all the other Star Wars shit that's been coming out on Disney+.
Yeah.
Like, how does this show rank compared to the other stuff? Even compared to Mandalorian, like, where does this stack up?
You know, when we were talking about Mandalorian, I think at that point, too, I said Mandalorian is maybe the best thing on television.
Yeah.
Right now, it's this. So it's...
I honestly rank this higher than The Mandalorian.
Maybe, yeah.
As far as, like, because
it's more intelligent.
There have been some episodes of The Mandalorian that I'm like, you could throw that out. That does not need to exist at all, ever.
I guess.
But so far, every episode of this has been brilliant. So, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Click subscribe.
Dick subscribe, dick or treat.
Dick or treat. We'll see you in another.
Oh, God.